This is Super Street Magazine's 120 hours Week to Wicked build-up, where our team will have 5 days to take this stock Honda S2000 and transform its handling, power, and torque output, along with its overall look. Follow along at superstreetonline.com and the Super Street Facebook page for daily updates on the build progress and an in-depth look at the parts we'll be adding to our AP1 Street project.
Okay, so it's day one, and today's build plan is to get all the new bushings in, suspension installed. But before doing that, I got Matt here from Super Street, so why don't we kick this car out and tell me what it does. So I think it's probably about my first time I've ever been in a little Honda like this one. I've owned Hondas, but I've never been in this Honda.
It's a little cramped, right, compared to domestic stuff, right?
For the most part, Week to Wicked has been primarily just classic trucks, muscle cars. Haven't done any street rods, but more of the classic car, kind of what you'd call the muscle car era. So what are the big keys to these cars? I mean, why are they so popular?
For this one, it was a big deal because this is one of the only rear-wheel drive Hondas that was made available. This is a 2001 model. When this car came out, it was a big deal, kind of an anniversary for Honda. Okay. So at that time, you know, mostly known for front-wheel drive cars, all of a sudden here comes this rear-wheel drive car, sports car. Sure. And very affordable, really easy to modify.
Yeah, I think the modifications that we're making to the car are things that people can do at home. Some of it is a little more basic, and then some of it's a little bit more advanced, but still it's stuff you can do at home.
Now, is this being a four-cylinder, yeah?
It is.
So you probably got a decent RPM range.
Yeah, this one, the AP1 will actually go up to 9 grand.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it was known for. So it's a lot of fun. You can hear it once it gets going.
Oh yeah, it does start pull. Actually pulls pretty well.
Yeah, it's not bad at all, but you notice you have to really be up in the high
you got to get up there in the
RPMs,
RPMs, yeah.
So, which is not a bad thing, but it's just something to keep in mind.
Well, cool, dude. Looking forward to kind of digging into the car a little bit and learning. So I'm certainly here to learn a little bit about this car.
This is going to be your education week, right?
Yep, sure is.
You built some monsters before, but this is a little bit different.
It's the smallest car, and yet, so I'm pretty excited to kind of dig into it. I'm looking forward to the turbo because I've never done a turbo. I've done a bunch of superchargers, but never done a turbo. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. And you know, just working with this group is different in a good way. It's fun. I'm learning, you know, more about the imports, and yeah, so it's been pretty exciting. Hey.
Suspension is something that those bushings I do have in my personal car. You know, my car at that time was about maybe 13 years old, so the bushings are pretty worn, just like this one. With the energy suspension, it's just a lot more responsive, much better ride. The handling's improved like immediately. As soon as you go from not having it to having it, you'll wonder why you didn't do it, essentially.
All right, so we've got our control arm disassembled, and it's time to push the bushing out. Sometimes this can be a pain in the ass. In our case, I'm gonna use a press. I think it's the proper way to do it. So what I've done is got an undersized socket here to push up on the bushing, and I got the oversized one that the bushing's gonna slide through. So let's press it out.
So I mean, the OEM suspension on the S2000 was very good right out of the box. We knew that it could be improved upon though, so I think we kind of put our heads together collectively with the Super Street team and sort of came up with a plan of how to improve it. We reached out to AST because they've been doing it for quite a while. They've got a good idea of a system that works well both on street and track, and that's what we wanted, something that can do both. Also, they have an option if we decide to upgrade later and go really, really aggressive, we can do that with them as well.
So we're just buttoning up the build now. We went ahead and installed all the coilovers and everything, and Christian's putting in sort of our problem solver. A lot of customers ask us, how do we access the rebound adjustment once the trunk liner's in the rear? So we came up with a remote adjuster, which attaches via set screw to the top of the rebound adjustment, which is on the shock. And this is routed out so you have access to it once the trunk and everything's put back together. This is going to be really handy when you want to make those adjustments on the track, on the fly, and even on the street. Just reach in, turn the knob, and you're good to go.
All right, so it's the end of day one, and we crammed a whole bunch of stuff in the time that we had. So I'm feeling really good about coming in tomorrow and getting some work done.